And there were a lot of student ambassadors too, or people that volunteered to be student ambassadors to help bring more people into our community and help wrap them into the community and make them feel comfortable.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
I really appreciated the effort that the teachers put in. That was by far my favorite. They worked hard to build connections with the students. They would help you at classes. I went through a decent amount of health difficulties especially during my first 2 years. And all of my teachers were very accommodating and very easy to work with. So they made sure that I still did well while dealing with the difficult health situation on the side. Again, I haven't been to other Christian schools, but from what I've seen, Woodland, not that it's as big as the other public high schools, but it's a good size, I think, and it's small enough that there can be that community, but it's big enough that we still have all the sports teams and the extracurriculars that people want, and we do well in sports for our size, especially. And so we have that community, but then we also have a big enough group that we can have all these different clubs and groups. And you go there, and we had morning announcements, and there would always be some sort of club or fun thing coming up for people to look forward to or for people to join. And so I really liked that aspect of it, that there was always interest, as long as someone had the idea. And so, yeah. This isn't one word, but it would be a good time. It would be fun to be around. It would be a fun person. Yeah. So kind of encapsulates a lot of different words I had. It would just be welcoming. It would be it would go out of its way for other people. Yeah, if Woodland was a place, like a person, they would just do, I almost wonder if selfless would be a better word, but I'm not sure. But just kind of that idea with kind, just a good person. With genuine, there's no what you see is what you get. There's no, talking behind people's backs or that kind of thing. It's just a genuine place that doesn't try to pretend to be anything it's not. And exciting. It was just, I had such a good time with my years at Woodland. There was always something new. I could always join something. I think in grade 12, I had 2 or 3 new things on the go all the time, just that I was able to join. And there was always something fun going on. So I just say exciting.
And just to build on that, what do you think was the most common character trait within the Woodland Christian student body?
I would say probably the kind. There was a lot of just people reaching out to each other and mixing a group, that kind of thing. And it was a really awesome atmosphere to be in. Probably the building of community. That was something that they emphasized a lot. I don't know if they have that, but they would have different events. They would try, I remember being a student ambassador, they would sometimes just be like, hey, these are the grade 9s. Make sure you say hi to this many people, these are the new people, welcome them, say hi. And there were a lot of student ambassadors too, or people that volunteered to be student ambassadors to help bring more people into our community and help wrap them into the community and make them feel comfortable. And yeah, there's just so many different events that were made for building community. There were yearly trips for each grade. I know they haven't been able to do them lately, but those were some of my favorite times. It's just being able to go with my grade. I think we went to Tobermory. We went to Old Quebec. We went, I don't remember what it was. It was a leadership trip retreat up north-ish in January. It was really cold, but it was a lot of fun. And then grade 12, we go to Washington. And then I also decided to go on the Europe trip as well. So like those trips were a great time that, you know, you talk to everyone in your grade. There's no room for people to just break up into little groups. Everyone's just talking to everybody. And yeah, so definitely the building of community is a huge thing. I think, again, like being a smaller school, how many people know each other and care about each other. Like, I feel like by the time I was almost done grade 12, you could have walked me down the hallway and I would have been able to be like, that's this person, that's this person, that's this person. Like, I would know almost everybody's names by that point. And so I feel like that would be surprising to a lot of people, that there is that much, like, people know each other, they talk to each other, they, you know, interact with each other, even like between grade 12s and grade 9s. Like, it's not like, you know, all split up. I think it's made me more aware, if that makes sense. I took a lot of like history classes and law classes. I took challenge and change. And then we also had so week, or we don't say so week because it's special emphasis week, where we would take an issue and we would raise money for it. We'd like help contribute to a special charity, that kind of thing. And so all of those classes and those experiences helped. Sometimes when you grow up, especially in Canada, in like you can grow up in this little bubble almost, and it really opened my eyes even within Canada to everything that's happening like around and how I can help that issue as like me as a student, and how I can contribute and help make the world more godly or more Christian, like more kind for other people. Sometimes, as like with small schools, like, you know, I don't know what the school can do about this because it's just human nature, but even in a small school, like everyone knows each other, but it can still get kind of cliquey at some points, especially where sometimes it's like lunchtime, if there wasn't enough tables or that kind of thing. Sometimes it would be a little more difficult, but I would probably try to, like, if people didn't make an effort, sometimes they would kind of feel left out on the side, um, especially if it was like a repeated, like, I don't care, I don't want to, you know, they would sometimes just be off to the side. And I wish that there would be like less of some of the, and I know I'm kind of a fault of that too, you kind of just get separated into groups, especially in like grade 11 and 12, as you know, people grow and change. But I wish that there could have been less like, oh, I sit here because this is where I always sit at lunch because this is the routine. This is, you know, the people I talk to. I really wish that there could have been just in the day to day, like school life, more intermingling, I guess, not just when you do extracurriculars or when you go on trips or when you know, because those places, they were great, but especially in the day-to-day life, sometimes you can just get to a bit of a routine. It's hard if you don't belong to anybody else's routine. I think that since I've like left, I've understood more of why they did what they do. Or like, I know last year they got called out a lot because they didn't make a public statement on the Black Lives Matter movement. And I feel like while I was in high school, that would have frustrated me, but now I understand why they didn't, or why they felt like they couldn't. um, and so I feel like I kind of have more compassion for some of the decisions they make, um, especially in regards to like such difficult topics. So I definitely understand. Also, before I would never, understand why certain kids would come to Woodland, just because I'm like, this, you know what you're getting. Like, this isn't really, why are you here sometimes? Which sounds terrible, but when I was there, I was like, what are you doing? You don't really care to be here. Like, you're just, but now I understand a lot more about the school really just wanted to help these kids. And it didn't matter what their past experiences had been or that they didn't want to be there. They just wanted to help them. I always, when people ask for recommendation, I always go to the teachers because they have such phenomenal staff. In fact, I still like one of the teachers that I had. I think I maybe had her for 2 classes, but we talked a lot, and she was one of the ones that helped me through a lot of my health issues. She sends me Bible verses on Instagram still, like 2 years later. And so like the teachers care about the students and they want them to succeed and they want to see them succeed. So that's always my number one recommendation. I'm like, these teachers and this staff, they are absolutely phenomenal. Woodland chooses great teachers, they choose great people, they choose people who are good at supporting their students. And that's always my number one recommendation is the teachers. Secondly, I'd say community as well, just being able to know everyone. And, even if, say, like, you don't know, you go on a trip with the class and you don't find yourself not with any of your typical friends, you can just go talk to the people and you know them and they'll talk to you because they know you and you can have that connection still. Or in extracurriculars, you can just join and you're immediately welcomed. It doesn't matter what grade you're in, like if you know anybody or not, there's such a welcoming atmosphere for that kind of thing in that community. And then lastly, I just say the extracurriculars that they offer for such a small school are really good. There's really something for everyone. There's like DECA, there's sports, there's art, there's choir, there's drama performances. And if you don't actually see anything that you like, just get a teacher on your side. And they had a hair button club when I was there, just because some students wanted to do it. And they talked to one of the teachers and they were like, yeah, let's do it. And so that was something that was started. And there was actually a lot of people there. So yeah, I definitely say the teachers, the community, and the welcoming atmosphere, and then the extracurriculars. Then I would definitely talk about the classes and the content in the classes, and especially how a lot of them, if you're looking for a Christian education, Woodland does that very well. I remember talking in science about all of that. We talk in drama. We do daily devotionals, and sometimes they even just tie into the lesson we're talking about. I remember taking a law class and we had a lot of talks about, okay, so this is the law perspective. What about the Christian perspective, And so if you're looking for a good Christian education, that will like teach you something new and you'll get to learn more about Jesus and God, and you'll get to go to chapel, and you'll get to hear different people speak, and you'll get to worship. Woodland does it very well. And that was something that I did really appreciate while I was there, and probably why I continued on to further Christian education, because I appreciated the foundations that Woodland laid so much. I would say go in open and with no expectations. I remember being terrified going there in grade 9. I was probably terrified almost the entire like first semester. I just had no idea what I was doing. I came with no one from my elementary school, or I came with very few people that I didn't really know from my elementary school. And because of that, it really held me back. Everyone says get involved, and I didn't. And I really regret that I didn't start getting involved in things until grade 10. I really only joined the drama production in grade 9. And so I would say go in open to new experiences, try new things, try different extracurriculars, talk to new people, but don't have expectations, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't, especially in high school, everything changes. You change as a person so much in high school that yeah, don't go in expecting anything because you won't be able to imagine what's going to happen. I would just say that the 4 years at Woodland were some of the best years of my life. I mean, I know I'm only like 20, so I don't have much to go off, but it was such a good experience and I do not regret it for a second. I would never take back my years there. I would never go, like, if I could go back, I would not go anywhere else. Um, I absolutely had a good time. I loved it. I made really good friends. I met really good people. I made great connections with the teachers. It's just something that I'm really happy that I chose, and I wouldn't choose anything else for me.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.